Hello, authors. I'm freelance fiction editor Miranda Darrow, wrapping up this month's focus on science fiction with a deep dive into crafting settings that can apply for most genres, but with a sci fi focus. So, welcome to Crafting Science Fiction Settings That Feel Like Characters. It's a guide for writers. One of the most powerful tools in a science fiction writer's toolbox isn't the tech or a plot twist, it's the setting. A richly imagined setting in science fiction can do more than provide a backdrop. It can act as its own character, shaping choices, creating tensions, and revealing truths about your protagonist. So, how do we write settings that feel real, lived in, and essential to the story? Let's break it down. Let's start with some categories to consider when building your sci fi universe. To build a setting that's more than window dressing, it helps to think in layers. Here are a few key categories to explore. Let's look at the environment and landscape. Is this a planet with toxic storms? Is it a city floating above a dead world? Is this a vast generational spaceship? And if so, how do they keep gravity? Does it have a big loop? Is it spinning around? I've read a bunch of those. Go beyond visuals. What does it smell like? Sound like? How does it feel underfoot? An example is A Psalm for the Wild Built by Becky Chambers, who brings us a lush, reclaimed world where nature asserts itself, full of sounds, smells, and shifting light that affect the monk protagonist at every turn. Another layer is technology and infrastructure. What everyday tools do people use? How does technology shape daily life? Is it seamless and invisible, or is it clunky and invasive? Almost all my tech is clunky and invasive because I'm not that great with it. One example for this is The Space Between Worlds by Micaiah Johnson that makes technology, multiverse travel, central not just to the plot, but to class divides and character identity, societal structures and culture. Who has power? Who doesn't? What's taboo? What's celebrated? These norms shape your character's choices and conflicts. An example for that is Neon Yang's Tesseract series. There are layered societies where gender, power, and tradition intertwine into a magitech in ways that drive the character's struggles. Another layer is the history and mythology. What's the collective memory of this place? What do people believe about their origins or their future? Your setting gains richness when it has a past, especially if there's like a secret. An example is in Leviathan Wakes, The Expanse, the Belt, Mars, and Earth each have their own myths and grievances, fueling political tension that shapes interactions. Daily life and small details. How do people eat, travel, fall in love, bury their dead? These details can make your world feel real and layered. And how would it be impacted by all the other choices that you've made about your universe? Binti by Nidhi Ofakar, there's rich texture in the setting through food, ritual, and personal adornment, all that are deeply tied to the character. And then be sure to immerse your character in the setting. Your setting becomes a character when it influences your protagonist's growth, their fears, and their choices. Here are some ways you can do that. One is you can let the setting shape challenges. A planet's gravity may affect how a fight plays out. A city's surveillance culture may fuel paranoia. You can show how your character reacts. Are they in awe? Are they overwhelmed? Are they homesick? Use the five senses to ground readers in your POV character's reaction. Make the setting dynamic. Let the world change over time. Erupting volcanoes, political shifts, shifting weather patterns. Just like a supporting character, your setting can evolve. And what are some writing tips for building setting as a character? Think beyond aesthetics. A gleaming city is nice to look at, but what does it do to your character? Layer the world's impact. The setting should create opportunities and obstacles. A high-tech utopia might isolate your character emotionally. A harsh world might forge resilience and community. Avoid the info dump. Instead of stopping the whole story to describe the world, reveal it through action. A character ducking to avoid acid rain, or haggling over clean water, or dodging drones that are spying on them. Ask what's normal and what's strange. What's an everyday nuisance? What's wondrous? Let your readers discover through your character's eyes. So here is Miranda's recipe for setting. Take a dash of where the scene takes place. Is it in a room, in a building? Also, what state, country, planet? And ground us also in the time frame. Is this the past, the present, the future? Sift through the POV characters' perspectives. What would they notice? What's new or changed? What's not just the ordinary? And then add a dollop of where the main character fits into this world. What's their role? What's their place in the pecking order? Add a sprinkling of sensory details to make it tangible. And then you need to select the right amount of details. This could involve condensing down some excess details and make your descriptions concise if you tend to write wordy, which a lot of science fiction authors do. Pick details that are important to your POV character because that can add to character development and voice. and use your setting as an opportunity to foreshadow. Don't overcook your setting, especially in the beginning if you're infant dumping, because it risks making your whole dish soggy and unappealing. A few recent standout examples of setting in sci-fi is Dead Silence by S.A. Barnes, in which a derelict ship becomes setting and a source of horror, pushing the characters to the brink. Naunomen by Marina Losetter, a generational spaceship's evolving culture, architect, and tech act as living forces over century. And one of my favorite recent movies, The Creator, came out in 2023, a Southeast Asia-inspired world shaped by war and AI integration, which drives both the plot and the emotional stakes. The Disney Plus series The Mandalorian, in which each planet or outpost adds a challenge, flavor, or moral test, as essential as any supporting character. A final thought, your setting isn't just where your story takes place, it's what happens to your characters, how they see themselves, and what they become. Treat it with the same care that you would give to any character arc, and your sci-fi world will leave readers longing to return. If you'd like, I can help you sketch out a world building checklist or brainstorm unique setting elements for your sci fi project. Just say the word. What happens to gravity if you do have 3 moons? And what happens to the tides? Things to think about. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share. I post new content every week. To find out the featured genre of the month and for more writing and editing tips, be sure to follow me. This is Miranda Darrow, freelance fiction editor, wishing you happy writing.